Hey y'all, Amanda here. Welcome to the Unseen Hands Collective. This is going to be the collective reading for April 2021. This is just the tarot portion. You also have a collective astroscope to loop in the planetary energies for this April, and we also have a collective guidebook to help us more personally move through the energy we all may experience here collectively in April. So make sure you check those things out. They are free over at our free membership at unseenhandscollective.com. So check that out. So the cards that are coming out from the Mary L Tarot for April, I'll show you the shape shift and then show you the full story in between. But the shape we're shifting out of this month seems to be the Devil energy, and the shape we're shifting into is the Hermit. And I'm really being drawn to the way the Devil is corresponding to the imagery that I saw in the very beginning before pulling cards, as I sat in meditation and asked for an image that embodied the collective energy of April. I saw a dragon breathing fire, and I felt very specifically to clear the path. And that could be many things. Like the fire is clearing a path. It's like this cleansing, burning away that is clearing the path, but also it's important to sort of get out of the way of that fire energy as it moves through. And, you know, April is Aries season. This is the introduction of a resurgence of fire energy that we haven't had since winter, at least where I am in the world. So we have fire coming in the form of a dragon, in my imagination anyway, and clearing the path in April. And to me, it looks like the fire of this dragon is also being shown in other forces of nature. Fire as a force of nature. Think about the volcano in Iceland that just erupted. Fire, a force of nature erupting from the earth. And then we have a tidal wave as another unstoppable force of nature. A huge gust of wind blowing through the Hermit. Specifically, the way the Hermit is, the robe is shown almost like a clamshell here, and I see this as like a gust of wind or of the fire. Something is clearing the path through the Hermit from the inside out, like through the Hermit's clamshell and out the other side. So this is very much with this energy here, an internal clearing. I imagine external in other ways as well. Obviously, it remains to be seen. But there is a path that must be cleared, and there is forces of nature showing up as elementals. Fire, wind, you'll see in some of the readings, the Virgo reading, a couple other readings, the winds blowing through was coming in really strongly. And to me, all of this talks about change and our relationship to change. You know, this image of the devil and the dragon. When we were talking through these cards at the collective, Kevin, our astrologer, brought up the passage in Revelations, I believe it's Revelations 12, about the woman, the baby, and the dragon. And here's why. Because the cards in between the Devil and the Hermit carry this child. So here in this collective story for April, we have the woman, we have the baby, we have the dragon. It's so fascinating. If you want to check it out, go read Revelations 12, the full story. It's pretty interesting. It talks a lot about protecting this newborn babe. And last month in March, if you remember, the fairy energy that came out as our guide was the maiden, and it was just this little baby. You know, this sweet cherub of a fairy, and it was reminding us that we are about to be reborn. And now here we are in Aries season, and the babe has arrived. You know, this is our rebirth, and we are brand new in a lot of ways and in need of protection. Here we see the babe itself, and flanked on either side are these parental energies coming in and holding close, swaddling in protection, perhaps against the larger forces of change blowing through in pretty intense ways. So here's the full spread for April, with this swaddled babe protected in the interior as the forces of nature, the forces of change, blow through this April. So I'm reading Octavia Butler again, and specifically the Parable series. And in that series, she talks about God is change, and that if we are God, then we are change, and change, that power to harness the force of nature that is change, is within us. I wrote this note about this reading saying, face the dragon inside of you. You have the power to shape it. If you don't realize this and you won't face it, it will likely shape you and shape your world for you. Shape change within, and you shape change without. You shape change from inside of you and your world, and the changes that happen in your world largely reflect that. So there is autonomy to be had here, even as we face forces that seem to be much larger than us, forces outside of us that are beyond our control. There's this sort of push-pull between realizing how those changes are clearing a path within us and the power we have to shape change from within and affect the world outside of us, and then also surrendering to forces beyond us that are needing to clear a path through us, outside of us. And I think the cards are just reminding us that as we are brand new, there is a lot of protection here for us. I think there's this really beautiful opportunity we have as we are new babes here in Aries season to realize that we don't have to repeat the same things. You know, we don't have to live out the stories of our ancestors. We don't have to live out the stories of our parents. Here in infancy, we have this opportunity to be reared differently. And I think that's part of why this really strong energy of a force of nature clearing the path is a really crucial part to that, because we've got to clear out that past blueprint if we are to actually start and grow into and develop something new. It's exciting. I really like this collective reading for us. I think the way the cards came out is exquisite, and the imagery here is just uncanny. And I'm excited to see how this pans out. I'm sure Kevin will have a lot to say about the Astros, so make sure you check that out now and see how the planets loop in. And then Kelsey's guidebook will really be the thing that will help you see how you are relating to this collective energy more personally, and where your part is in the larger scheme of things. So again, all of this is available for free at unseenhandscollective.com. We really encourage you and invite you to join us there in community, and to stay tuned with us even as these forces of nature blow through and I'm sure change and shape us here at the collective. So thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us every month as we move through the shape shifts together. And let's see what happens next.
Yeah, so Pluto in Capricorn is really asking us, like I said, to look beyond the obvious to what is standing in the way of us and our authority, us and our fire. What is stopping us from fully showing up? Okay, because when we're in full authority, when we're in full power, we show up. It is always safe for us to show up if we're in full power, because there's nothing that's going to knock us down. There's nothing that's going to take us out. Everything is balanced as it should be and aligned when we're in full power. Okay, because Capricorn is about that vertical alignment.